Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black, White, and Red All Over. I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics.
Ryan Seymour, king of Comic Town and chief emperor. I was going to make a joke about being bald, but it's been one of them days.
Well, yep. I mean, yes. But it was a good day because there's some good books that came out.
Yes.
Before we get started, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and like this because trust me, this episode is going to be dope. The books we're talking about are great. You're going to like this, so just do it right now.
Yep.
Just get it out the way. Okay, we've got some good reads that you should read.
Yes.
We've only got one that's the same here.
Correct.
So that's 5 books that we're going to talk about.
Just right off
rip. So we got the content for you. Let's go. Since you started off with this very kind of horror vibe here.
Yeah, all right. Because this week, there were 2 major horror anthologies making their debut.
That's wild.
One of them is written by R.L. Stine.
Why did I miss that? I'm so upset with myself.
I don't know if they're marketing it well enough to really hammer away like
also possible.
R.L. Stine, but his first adult, because it's not. Don't give this to a kid.
This is not Goosebumps.
Yeah, this is not Goosebumps. Yeah, so this is like his adult version.
Yeah.
It's so,
Stuff with Nightmares.
It's Stuff with Nightmares. So we got Frank Avella doing the cover on this one, which
that's already top notch.
Frank Avella, amazing. All right, so we got R.L. Stine writing.
Yeah.
Illustrated by Kaplan, colored by Roman Titov, letter by Jim Campbell, and it is kind of like your basic setup where you have like a crypt keeper type person, like, oh, I've got these things that I've collected over time, and they're attached to really horrible stories. And yes, this story is horrible, but like in a horror way, not like it is really well executed. The color palette is very night.
Yeah,
like it feels like you're in a Jeep.
I'm sorry. Wait, nope. Don't mean to cut you off. What is that?
Oh, Frankie?
Okay, it's got a name. Nope, I'm good.
So, yeah, it is a tale of science gone too far, and God. The lack of ethics required to go further is really, really cool. I'm trying to figure out a way to describe it without giving away too much.
Okay.
There is a couple that hears noises, and they go to investigate.
That's a recipe right there. Disaster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they go and they find this place where science is taking place, and
that is not science.
That's
not what that is.
Everything.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it gets really gross. So like when I'm saying it's for adults, it is violent. There is an incredible amount of gore. There's a floor drain that doesn't get the job done
at all.
Yeah.
It's full. Mm-hmm. It's full.
So yeah, this is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really solid. I do prefer the other one that came out this week, which I'll get to later. But if you're an old school Goosebumps fan, and you always kind of like, looking back, you're like, oh man, if it could only be a little bit more, this is that. Okay. This is totally there. And you get to meet Frankie.
That's,
he just...
Last year we had the Fear Street on Netflix, which was definitely a bit more of an upgrade from the Goosebumps era stuff. Would you say that that's more Frankie? Or not more Frankie, jeez. More Fear Street? God, that Frankie is creepy, man.
It really is.
It's creepy. It's burned to my brain.
I don't understand the skin flap right there. Like
okay. Would you say that it's more Fear Street than Goosebumps?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to read that. Okay. Okay, something a little... Okay, so... Fantastic Four, number 47. Big shout out to David Pepose, who is kicking off this new run on Fantastic Four. We've got Juan Cabal on the art, Jesus Arbitov on colors, and VC's Joe Carmagna. I can't talk. On letters. Okay, so this is fun, right?
Yeah.
Very clean, easy story to jump into. David is just kind of filling around, setting the stage for some stuff. Yeah. The cool, unfortunate task, all at the same time, is that he has to tie it into Judgment Day, which that's rough, right? Like you're getting like the job of the year. You're like, hey, Fantastic Four here, and you're like, but there's a big major crossover event. You got to tie into that. Dang it! Okay, fine.
Yeah. Which is tough. Like how do you, as a writer, how do you balance your autonomy and creativity with the responsibility to... That's a
David
tough one.
David does it really, really well.
Nice.
Really well. And by bringing in a villain that familiar to certain readers, not necessarily an overused one, so it's kind of like, ooh, where are we going with this? Very interesting. still has the heart of the FF. Like, very, very sweet, very fun. Let's see if I can show you a picture of the villain so that you can see who it is.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes, very interesting, right? We've got a key player taken off the board early, which is really smart. Gives a really big showcase to what I think David is like, no, the real stars of the team are ... and then putting it together like that. This was a great first issue of a new arc, new creative team. Even though it's got the umbrella of Judgment Day hanging over it, really solid. Like, this is going to be the Fantastic Four run. I'm with it. So count me in for 48. I'll be there.
Fantastic. All right. So I went with AfterShock Comics, issue number 4, where Starships Go to Die.
Yeah. This was our only AfterShock offering.
This week, yeah. There weren't a lot of options, but this was really solid. All right, so let's give some love to the creative teams. Alrighty. Mark Sable writing, Alberto Locatelli doing the art, Juan Cho with an exclamation point.
That's right.
Doing the colors, and Rob Steen doing the lettering.
Big shout out to Juan Cho. We work together. It's my friend. Just want to say that.
Yeah. Does a great job.
He does.
Like, it's really, really cool, the choices that they... I'm that weird dude that, like, loves colorists.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's just... I don't know. There's just something about it. It's like the forgotten, like that, and letterers. They don't get their due.
Nobody gives them the love, but you don't understand how like intrinsic of an art form that really is, and can literally make or break a story.
Yeah,
without question.
All right, so this one's hard sci-fi, and it takes place in there's a location, Point Nemo, I think is the name of it. That is the furthest away from land you can get in the ocean, anywhere in the world.
Right,
and it has become like a graveyard for various attempts to leave the planet.
Oh,
well, because it gets into it like different times and different people.
Got you.
And there's this reason why humanity has never been successful in really exploring the stars.
Oh,
and it's once it hits and you figure out why, and we don't know who's behind it, but there's a reason for it, and you're like, oh my gosh,
this makes sense.
Yeah, so it's this really cool. It's hard sci-fi. It's like a reverse Rendezvous with Rama. Like, it's just.
I like that.
It's amazing. I think there's 5 issues or total for the story arc.
Okay,
maybe 6, but it's totally worth.
That's awesome.
Worth tracking down. The only problem that might be is AfterShock is really cool, and they offer a program for retailers. If they order a certain threshold for issue number 1, it becomes returnable. Right. So it might be a little bit tough to find it, because I think that window has already passed.
Gotcha.
But if you're looking for something very cool, something very intelligent, and fun at the same time.
Is this the point where once you hit that threshold, at this point, what you're really hoping to push is the trade paperback?
Yeah, at this point. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
From a retailer standpoint. Yeah.
That makes sense. So if you did miss out on that train, talk to your retailer and go, hey, I want the trade. Like, make sure this trade comes in, and I will jump on there. That's good to know.
Your shop will order it for you. Like, there is no reason aside from that they suck if they won't. So, yeah, just talk to them.
Is a shop allowed to pre-sale anything? Like, if you're like, hey, I want this.
Yeah, different shops have programs for it. Like, we've kicked around one where we pre-sell stuff at up to the point of the previews order pack being uploaded. Okay. I haven't figured out how to make that work yet.
Gotcha.
And there's other shops that just take... Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it.
Okay.
But talk to your shop. They probably have something, and if they don't, I probably will, hopefully soon.
Come to Comic Town. We do all the things. That was really helpful, actually. Like, I've never thought...
Yeah.
All these years, I've never thought to ask that question. Okay. X-Men Legends, volume, whatever.
Yeah.
2. I picked this one up because the cover got me. I was looking at it, and I was like, looking at the shapes of this. I was like, is this a Kari Andrews cover? Yes, it is, because I'm that much of a fan that I can tell who did it just by looking at it. But then... looking at it, and I'm like, well, who wrote this? Roy Thomas. And I'm like,
right.
Okay, I'm reading it. And then my man Dave Wachter rhymes with tractor. That's actually something he says, which is the funniest thing. Like, I will never forget your name, Dave. You already know. Did the interior. So I was like, oh, a buddy did this? I'm reading it. Okay, so...
creative team is stupid. It is at what you would expect a regular X-Men story arc would have.
Yes. Without question. Okay, so if you're not familiar with what the X-Men Legends line is, there are certain storylines that were either abandoned or taken into a different direction. This gives an opportunity for at times, creators of that initial story arc to kind of fill in some gaps or finish it as they thought they were going to. This one, I have no idea if Roy Thomas had an intention for this way back whenever, but this takes place in between Incredible Hulk 181 and 182. So, pivotal showcase time period for Wolverine.
Yeah. If you don't know.
Yeah.
That is the first appearance of Wolverine. And then,
yes.
Yeah.
Right?
And a Grail. Like a
Super Grail.
Yeah.
Super Grail. So the setup, though, is Wolverine was on another mission for Department H, and he's paired up in some sort of way with this character. Because they gave all the different names of him. Jack of Diamonds. Jack of Diamonds is also... Wait, where's all his other names? It's kind of ridiculous. Wait, where did I... Oh, I just saw it. Oh, there we go. Jack of Diamonds, the Living Diamond, Jack Winters. Like, these are all his names. Like, dude is wanted in many states. Okay, because he just switches up. But this is like a fun story, and of course, like you're looking on the front cover, you're like Wolverine versus Beast. Wait, what? You get so wrapped up in the story that once that becomes the A side, you're fascinated. Like, and I didn't even read. Like, I have not read like 181. I've never read that story. I've definitely not read 182. And I didn't read the first issue of this. So this is the pinnacle of, and I mean, Roy Thomas is of that era, where you read a book and it could be someone's very first comic, and it's inviting, it's fun. Dave, I love your version of Wolverine. It's
freaking beautiful.
Okay, in terms of what this possibly could have been, it's an explanation of how we go from this to... where'd you go? To that.
Because there is a pretty big...
It's a huge shift. How do you get there? This, I think, is what that is. And it was a lot of fun. Very, very touching. Super deep lore cuts. Like, if you were a fan of that era, what are we calling that? Late mid-70s
era? Somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, of like, just Marvel Comics. You've got a mix of things, right? This is pre-X-Men Wolverine. This is Beast doing different adventures and just fun stuff. Read it. Read it. If you're nostalgic, there it is.
Yeah, that's
your answer.
One of the books that always kind of confuses me when people of a certain age, and I'm one of them, and you're like, I'm not feeling the X stuff right now. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity. This is one of their line where they're like, this is for you.
Yeah, literally. Without it being a direct reprint.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because there was an age where that's what you had. Like, you could only do reprints. Now they're actually still creating stories based in that era with that feel, because some of those creators are still alive and able to do this.
Yeah.
So, would you... Okay, I'm going to ask that question. Yeah. Would you say that there would be a marketplace possible for creators of a certain era that strictly in continuity only focus in that era? Would there be a marketplace for that?
Yeah, because there's the level of nostalgia that everybody achieves at some point in their life. Where they're like, man, this was the time period of this book or that I love the most. Yeah. And like you could have these iconic creators from those time periods go in mine for additional stories, or like maybe I would do things a little bit different, or maybe one of the characters goes on a side adventure because like where did Iceman go for these 3 issues?
Yeah, and this is the explanation. This is where they went. That would be cool.
That would be awesome.
Marvel and DC should get together and go, we're going to do like a Silver Age line. And just any character stories within that time period, if you want to build off of that, you get to do it. And just... That would be... Yeah, as long as it doesn't... Yeah, it doesn't change everything, just build. Okay.
That'd be... I almost said the F word.
It's that good. Yeah. That word was fun. That word is fun. That's our story, and we're sticking to
Contains similar letters to fire truck.
Last on the list for our good reads that you should read. Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, Vanish #1. Okay, so if Harry Potter listened to 9 Inch Nails on a regular regimen of, I don't know, Mountain Dew,
while making the love to Spawn.
Yeah.
This is that's pure what this is. 90s over the top.
You've got Okay, so mad credit to them for this one because what you're looking at is major world building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I think is interesting is it's rated superheroes and rated M for mature. The M for mature is legit.
Yeah.
Because it's gory. But the idea of calling this a superhero story sets a tone, I think.
Yeah.
And it's so very interesting because at the onset, like you're like, oh, it's magic with a little bit more magic.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of setting the stage for the story that's at hand. And this is going to be one of those titles, I think, that's going to be just them playing. And, ooh, when it's creator owned and these guys get to use their voice to do this, what can't they do?
Right? Think of all the stuff Cates has done where he can just do stuff on his own. You got Crossover.
Yep.
God of Swords. That was that one. So he does some amazing stuff, and Stegman's art is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it fits the vibe of the story so well because there's like flowing capes that makes sense.
Yep.
There's that one dude.
Yeah, he gets what he gets.
Yeah, he deserved it.
Yep. Twice. And if you are a fan of their run on Venom, this is the creative team carrying over into a creator-owned space. So that's going to be the thing that I'm most excited for is to see what they do when they are truly unleashed. Yeah. When it's not like editorial goes, hey, we've got a movie coming out, you can't do that. When they go,
this is my stuff.
Guess what I'm doing. I mean, and literally from the onset, like you kind of get that vibe. Like they did what?
Yeah, because it comes out swinging and not even like kind of playfully. Like no, you are hit with some stuff, followed by even more stuff.
With a sprinkling of more stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think, because as I was reading, I was like, would that have stopped Voldemort? Would he even recognize what that was? Because I feel like that's what just happened. Like that dude was like, yeah, man, you can't even, what's that?
Yeah, I don't even know where he got it from in that place.
Well, okay. Wait, you didn't catch that?
Well, no.
He didn't get it in that place.
Oh, really?
That was the second thing he did wrong. Yes. And he got that and brought, So
just imagine
clever.
Being Voldemort, and then Potter is just looking at you, and you're like, what?
What? And you're like, what kind of wand is that? What is it? What kind of spell does that? Oh my God! Like that's that would be funny.
Because you wouldn't know how to defend yourself.
What would you do?
You wouldn't know to defend yourself.
You'd be like, I don't like. Like it's just like I don't know what you do. Like that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's why there's not a Hogwarts in Harlem, okay? Because it would have jumped off. It would have jumped off, and that's why it's not there, okay? And they thought it was like, yeah, no, you want to see some black magic? We'll show you some black magic right here. What's up? I'm sorry.
It's kind of true. Like that's what happens in this.
That's what happens. Okay, so I am definitely needing a crossover at some point between Vanish and Excellence. I need them, like, even if it's like they don't even have to interact, but I just need them to like look at each other, like just get that moment,
like that meme where they're like driving.
Yes, and you just see them like I need it. I don't care how y'all got to work that out. What points get what? I just need it. Y'all need to write something where there's a scene where there's a chase, a car walk. I don't care. They got to cross each other and just kind of go, "What's up?" Yeah. Please and thank you. Okay, so that's 5 titles that are good reads that you should read. Definitely add those if you've got the extra dollars because they're great. Yeah, they were really, really good.
You will not be disappointed. But we have 4 more titles for you.
Picky 4. If you're going in with a limited amount of money, these are the books that you have to come out with, like for your own safety. Right, your security, your peace of mind. Yeah. You need to come home with these. I need you to, because you said the master, okay, the master, and you're actually saying that there are other folks that have produced something that is beating R.L. Stine in your opinion.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
So the other horror anthology that gets kicked off this week, which had to have been planned, like the publishers had to know.
They knew what is up.
Creepshow #1. This one's by Image. And it's another. We got a whole bunch of creators on this. What I'm talking about. There's 2 main stories. Take One, written and drawn by Chris Burnham.
Chris with the writing? What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And really, really good.
Nice.
Adriana Lucas, Pat Broza, or Adriana Lucas, colors, Pat Rosso letters. And then we got a second story, Shingo, Paul Dini, and Stephen Langford doing the writing, John McCrae doing the art.
That's a tasty book,
right? Mike Spicer on colors and Pat Rosso on lettering once again. So this takes the Creepshow, like the movie, like the Creepshow, and also like Dark Shadows, maybe
those classics.
Where there's the Crypt Keeper, that sort of thing, the chassis that Stuff and Nightmares has, and it does 2 stories instead of just the one.
Okay,
and one of them is hard horror, like it's just really.
That is gritty. Oh my god.
Yeah. So like, if you're ever trick or treating and the sign says only take one,
you better listen.
Just take the one candy. And so it's like one of those cautionary tales of like, if you don't do this, something bad will happen, and it's really gross. There's a stomping scene, I think.
A what? No. Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the most solid ghost I've ever seen. But really cool. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kids go trick-or-treating. They act like kids, act the fool, and there is a supernatural comeuppance for it. And then you've got a second story, which kind of gives you the lighthearted, like it's still messed up.
Of course.
But it's more lighthearted, it's more comedic. And it's the story of this parent who's trying to throw together a birthday party for her kid at the last second. Her ex-husband's no help, and she comes across information for an entertainer who goes by the name of Shingo. And
what could go wrong?
Yeah, and at first you're like, oh, it's kind of like a Barney type sort of thing, and like it's kind of fun.
Oh my god!
Yeah, then you find out Shingo has a different plan, and it is disgusting. And then there's a third story that is not really referenced, and you just have to run across it. And this one's like really scary, like kind of messed up.
What?
Yeah. So I'm hoping that this is like an actual feature moving forward. Like this story just keeps getting built upon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Both horror anthologies for this week are great. I just wanted to pick one to kind of.
I got you.
But yeah,
no, that's awesome. I mean, it's the season, so we need our creep stuff, and I'm glad that there are some erstwhile creators that are like, "Hey, it's creepy time."
Yeah,
here,
and these are name brand.
Yeah, like that's okay.
Carol Core,
Avengers Forever, number 9. This is so good. Jason Aaron Cooter, Cam Smith, Guru Effects, killing it. VC's Corey Petit doing the letters. Okay, so we know like we've been bouncing around this multiversal space where there's all kinds of things that are just off kilter, whatever. But still amazing stories. The last one where Thor was like learning to battle Mjolnir and become worthy of his unworthiness. Yeah. Glory. This one, we find the Carol Core, as you aptly called it, because it does. Call it. I mean, look at the collection. Like, you can see it. We come upon a Carol who lives in a world, this is crazy, in a world where the Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, won.
Oh, wow.
And so, as acolytes of hers, they don't allow anything to fly. If it flies, they kill it. Because the only thing that's allowed to be in the sky is her.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, wow, that's deep. Yeah. So, you've got Carol, who... underslave, like not even a slave, chained so that she can't move but so far, and is forced to like pick up the things that are shot down by these like weird like animal beings that worship the Phoenix. Like it's nutty. But it's this story of perseverance, and when you get to the place and you realize like, oh, she does have her own like something, like there's something about her that's important and prominent, and you see it like they're talking about like the things that she risks and how they gave her this thing, but she does this like all the time and does this for years, to the point where when that's taken from her,
that's really cool, actually.
And so then she becomes a scourge, which is fantastic. You gotta love that. And finally finds some peeps, and I'm like, man,
I wouldn't want to fight that.
At all. I would love for them to make some reference to that in some future movie, just to see all the dude bros just lose their mind, because it would be funny to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like that would be mad funny to me, because the amount of power and circumstance with the Carol Corps.
Yeah.
Tears, just tears.
Yeah.
Why are girls so powerful? Because they are jerks.
Yeah.
Radiant Black, number 18. Get you, Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm saying this to your face when I see you again.
This issue, I don't know if it's jumping on point is the right word,
but kind of.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's like this entry. If you haven't been reading the Radiant Black universe, A, you suck. B,
right.
you need to check it out.
Step your game up. This issue focuses on Radiant Yellow, which is another form, but this was written by Kyle Higgins, Lawrence Holmes, art by Stefano Simeone, letter Becca Carey. Okay, let me first start off by saying there is a challenge in how you read this. It's done on purpose. It is a fascinating and brilliant way to express a timeline of a character in a single issue.
Yeah.
We got 1984, 2002, 2020, and then 2038 as starting points of time. And this is told in such a way that it is brilliant. Now, normally we don't spoil, but I want to make sure that you are having the right experience. Read them spreads at a time on that 2-page spread before you turn the page. It is not one track and then go back. There is a certain point where the story coalesces. So just read it as 2-page spreads. That's how you do it. Straight across, 2 pages, start again, 2 pages, start again, 2 pages. That's just for your own benefit of reading a story, because we had to figure that out on our own. And so Hove did that, so hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. God,
it's so gorgeous. The way when all the timelines merge, or there's a moment, there's a splash page that is really cool. I've never seen in any of my decades of reading comics any visualization of multiple timelines and their effects drawn and like rendered that way. Yeah. And I wonder, like, when this creative team was working, was it like, who had the concept?
Right.
And figured out how to execute it.
That's the thing that's most brilliant to me, is to have thought it through and to make relevant conversations at different points of time, but then still be relevant in correlation to how it's shown. Like, that's the part where I was like, take a bow. Like, this is a master class. Like, this is a very sincere lesson in how you do this. Yeah. The other thing that, so this is one of those weird, I'm a creator, so I think about these things, or I notice these things. So it's almost like they subtly show you how you're supposed to read it, because the top has the thickest border, and then it gets thinner and thinner until there's not one. Yeah. And
which is so cool. It's such a genius, amazing design. This is one of those issues that I don't know if it's going to get as much love as it deserves, because it's kind of groundbreaking in the way it executes this concept.
Very much so. Tactically, this is one of the coolest concepts I've seen in comics, and it's the second time that Radiant Black has done this in my immediate recollection this year. The first one, of course, was when they had a character show up and there was a fight, and to give us more of that fight, they actually did an animated feature, a small little animation piece that they had a QR code that you could get to.
Which is amazing marketing.
Beyond. So that's the thing like. Radiant Black, Kyle Higgins and crew are like the entire massive universe. They are taking comic book reading to a new experiential level. Yeah. And that's the future. I'm so jealous, because you have a couple pictures in the back. This was during C2E2. Okay. I was on my way there when they were doing this, and where this was like an hour or so away from the city, so I didn't get to go to this, but I saw these cutouts at the show, and they are phenomenal. I wonder, absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, because we got that one. I wonder if
they're like that size. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
That'd be awesome if Image did a promotion.
Like, why haven't you guys? Yeah. Like, clearly it works.
And the Radiant universe is so cohesive.
It's deserving.
Yeah.
It's deserving.
Because I would love, Image, you're not going to care. But I'm going to throw this out there. It would be awesome if other companies like AfterShock has done it. I think Valiant's done it. Create like just a cardboard place where we can put comics or trade paperbacks. A few pockets for the trades for the Radiant Black or Radiant Universe, and then something like that, because it is so eye-catching.
Super eye-catching. That would be so dope.
Because this is one of those that it deserves it needs to be signal boosted.
Yeah,
it is such a good thing.
I agree. Give us shelving, okay? We want the shelving. Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, like all of it. Give it to us, okay?
Because people don't know sometimes.
Right. Like they're connected and you don't know.
Yeah.
Till you know. So do that. Connected. Oh God. Okay, book of the week, people.
Every time I start to feel happy when reading DCeased.
You know better. You know better. You know better. DCeased, 2 of 8.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a countdown. This is the limited series. It's the finale of the DCeased story, War of the Undead Gods. You know, when you said War of the Gods, right? You're like, okay, so Darkseid.
Yeah.
Okay,
they're going to clash or whatever. We've seen it before.
No. That's too small. This one, War for Kurgar, which they're telling you in the title what's about to go down. Tom Taylor, Trevor Harrison, Andy Lanning, Rain Burrito. I hate y'all. Okay, Ryan can attest to this. Jeremy can attest to this. I gave an expletive as I was reading this. Okay, like slap the table expletive. I'm not supposed to talk like that in a comic shop, in a holy place of comics. You elicited a bad word from me, Tom Taylor. How dare you?
And I almost did the same thing.
Because I heard him and I was like, "You reading DCeased?" He was like, "Yep." And I was like, "I knew it." Do you realize what that is? Like when you can hear someone else read a moment and you know what they're reading? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you're new to the DCeased universe, don't start with this.
Yeah, pick up the trades for the earlier stuff because it all builds sequentially.
All of it. The anti-life equation, Darkseid's goal for the longest time, he acquired it, tried to do something with it, pull it, and corrupted it in the process. Its core sequence came from Cyborg, who was the bearer of it. Darkseid Desaad realizing that it was coming from Cyborg, shunts Cyborg's body back to Earth, where he immediately connects to all the Wi-Fi of the world and shares this digital viral anti-life equation, turning people into these violent zombies. That
still retain all of their powers if they have them.
This is 5 years later after that, where a cure has been found. Which is great, right? You're like, yay, a cure.
Families are being
reunited, and it did feel good.
It did
for a second, until you realize Darkseid still infected, but now seemingly in control.
Which is very Darkseidian.
Very Darkseidian. Has decided to move forward.
Yeah. And this is, I don't, when the series first started, like we knew, like within the first couple issues, we knew about the origins of the corrupted anti-life equation. But I never thought, well, heck, what about Darkseid and the new gods? I was so fixated on Earth and those people.
It's because we're selfish.
Yeah.
Okay. We're human beings.
And we're now getting into that new Genesis and Apocalypse.
The scale, okay? The scale of this is horrific, okay? Because when this guy
saves your life, right? I was like, wait a minute, is that can't be.
And it is. Like, but when that guy saves you, that is what the French call a problem. Yeah. Like, there is no other way to describe that than bad. Because that is the antithesis of his purpose.
Yeah, his entire existence is
crazy.
To do the exact opposite. We
see when Darkseid makes landfall on Kurgar.
Yeah, because his goal now is he's just going to annihilate the universe.
Yeah, yeah. You know how Thanos was like, "Hey, I'm going to snap and just get rid of half."
Yeah. Darkseid's like, "I'm going to personally,
I'm showing up,
go and destroy everyone."
I'm getting my hands dirty. This is man's work. Okay, you see these stony hands? They're getting dirty today. Okay, so the thing that Tom Taylor has done so expertly throughout this series is when he introduces somebody, go, "Oh yeah, that person," right? Like the whole every time, like, you're like, "Oh yeah, well what's gonna happen with them?" Oh. We had not seen the Sinestro Corps up until this point,
and them coming in.
It's on the cover, so it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler. Them coming in, their entire power set is based on fear. So, like, if you're going to a place that is being attacked by the denizens of apocalypse, there's going to be a ton of fear.
Lots of fear.
So you can use that as a fuel.
Genius, right? Like, I'm my most powerful right now.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that it's Kurgar. That's Sinestro's home planet. Yeah. Okay, so he's got a vested interest to be like, no, we're not doing that. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Is ultimately what happens their fault?
Yes.
I agree. If they didn't react the way that they did, there would be safety.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that it would have ended things. I'm not saying that.
But there would have been some kind of mitigation of what was going on. But they went in there with all their bias.
With complete bias.
Yeah.
Historically accurate. But still. And I've never seen it blow up in somebody's face so fast.
Yeah. And that, oh my gosh, because it builds. It's like one bad thing after another.
Then boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom.
Because at first, all right, because Sinestro Corps fighting these people.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about why she had that.
Really?
Yeah. Didn't cross my mind. And then when I was like, oh man. Oh, jeez.
Oh.
God, this is Darkseid. I want Tom Taylor to write more Darkseid. Because he's not supposed to retain his personality, his own autonomy. He does. And now you've got
so dangerous. Tom Taylor, because remember that's your name, right? It's Tom Taylor from now on. Like, I need to know, what is this your way of dealing with the negativity of life? Like, do you get it all out by doing this? Where on the flip side, you're writing great progressive ideas and thoughts and stories and Superman, Son of Kal-El.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. And you're like, yes, this makes me feel good. Nightwing, ooh, makes me feel so good. Yeah. And you're like, I have a dark side.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because
this is messed up.
Yeah.
Like, and this is like, what, the fourth storyline in this thing? And I'm like,
how is it?
This is the worst it's ever.
Yeah. It's like Dragon Ball Z. Like it
just gets worse.
Yeah.
Every time. You know what? That's a great comparison. It is like Dragon Ball without, like, it's because, like, Dragon Ball will just create a new person. Like, I am now the most powerful person in the universe. No, these are literal things where you're like, no, that literally just got worse.
They've been around.
Oh my God.
So
I didn't even think about that. Terrible.
Yeah. God. And then just the creative team just has just done an amazing job consistently all throughout every one of these miniseries. Oh man, this
is a huge elevating point right here. When you, because these are character types that don't necessarily interact much, and when you see the conversation of what this is equal to, is such a powerful moment, only to be just snatched.
Yeah,
just whatever.
Because that's one of the great things about this is this constant changing of your emotions, where you're given this moment of like, okay, this is the turning point, and then yes, it is a turning point, but it's not the one you thought. And But the thing is, the heroes are still heroic. Like that's the thing, is they still retain the essence of who they are. So for the good or for the bad, depending on the situation, like Guy Gardner's Guy Gardner.
I appreciate his words in this one too.
Yeah. Oh man, 'cause you got it's
crazy.
just good. It's just good. I like if you're a fan of zombies, if you're a fan of Elseworlds, if you're a fan of, oh man,
I cannot wait for the Absolute Edition.
Yeah, there has to be
of this series, and they put it all together, and it's gigantic. And you just flip through all the murder, death, kills, the slight wins, and you're like, yeah, and then you're never mind. Like such a glorious, glorious series. This ending, like, I kind of feel like in the year between Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah, that's right. Newcomers. There was a year between them. Whole year. We knew certain things had to happen. Yep. The question was how.
Yeah.
I am so rooted in the how right now. Like, how? Like, we've got to win. Okay, like, come on, we've got to win.
Do we?
How? How do you win?
Yeah, when it's Darkseid. And you, please, if you don't know how awesomely powerful Darkseid is, do like a quick Wikipedia search.
Yeah.
This dude is no joke.
Yeah, no, not at all. Watch all seasons of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and when you get to that, then you'll get it. It'll make sense. And this Darkseid,
it's worse.
Way worse. Way worse. How do you beat that?
I honestly don't know that they can. Like I
don't think that.
What if that is Tom's like no, it's just Apocalypse, Darkseid wins, anti-life equation.
DCeased.
Yeah.
You are. That
could happen.
It could. That's the thing. That is not off the table.
Yeah.
That is not off the table. Okay. So DCeased, issue 2. Please read that. Comment below.
Yeah.
What moment? Comment below. What moment got you? Note that there will be spoilers in the comments.
Yeah.
I need to know which moment got you. Which one was the one where you're like, oh, snap.
There's several.
There are a couple.
But there's one in particular.
Even after, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what? No. Oh! Amazing. Okay. As I said before, I know you like this episode. We just want you to show it. So click that thumbs up. Yep. Let everybody know how much you like it. In fact, share it. Click the thumbs up and then share that you thumbed it up because we want you to thumb us.
Yeah, you can tag us online too, so we're on there. We do this every week. So hit the bell and set the notifications to let you know.
Because we'll be here for you. We're not like the Darkseid anti-life equation. We won't infect you. Maybe.
But like he and his son are doing it together.
It's so wonderful.
It's
like a family reunion. Not the one we want. Not at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is one.
It is.
Yay! Oh my god! And then the one family reunion that we didn't get.
Right.
Like, if there's okay, all right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.